Hello everyone, good afternoon, and welcome back to the channel. I was planning on doing a channel update video. I've been planning on doing a channel update video at least a few months ago, back in January, because January would have marked the 6-month mark from when the channel was actually created. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to do like maybe a little bit of an evaluation, and whatever, my analysis was, I was going to make it just a quick video with maybe some expectations and things like that, things of that nature. But I had a whole bunch of other shit going on at the time, and I just didn't get it out. And then, eventually as time went on, I just kind of, said, screw it. I just keep my teeth to the grindstone and keep pumping out videos, and, I'll produce a video later. I definitely was going to do one at the 1-year mark, which will be this July. But that's still a few months away. So I really just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. I really don't like to put out like a lot of personal information personally, for obvious reasons, but this is something that directly affects the channel. For like the past 2 weeks, I've really been experiencing like this pain in my right ear. Like it comes and goes sometimes. And I noticed that it's been definitely exacerbated by wearing a headset. And I've tried to use a different headset, because the headset I was using before, like the foam part on the cans themselves, the cans that go over your ears, was old. And, it's like an old pillow. It just goes flat. And then, the piece with the actual sound comes out of was just hidden by like this piece of like almost like a nylon material, just this really thin material. And it was like sitting up against my ears. And I know that was causing me some trouble, but the pain isn't like superficial. It's not on the fleshy bits themselves, it's inside. And there's been a couple of times I've gotten like a little worried about it. And I did contact my doctor recently. I'm just waiting to hear back with an actual an appointment or something. I don't know if I'm developing tinnitus or what it is. I don't think it's tinnitus, because it's not like a ringing. I don't have like a ringing or bells or anything in my ears. It's nothing like that. It's not my ears, it's just my right ear. But I do want to kind of like take a step back from doing YouTube for a little bit, just simply on that premise alone. I need to actually figure out what the hell's going on. I'm hoping it's nothing serious, but it's like I'm trying to limit my exposure to wearing headphones, especially when I'm recording videos, because it's like, I don't just record one video at a time. Usually I'm sitting here for many hours doing it. And, I need to really limit that. I mean, obviously I do. And I'm going to have to kind of just play it by ear right now. Like, as far as my other series and everything goes, like I do plan on continuing with them and then finishing them out. Right now, I have the EU4 Succession series that I'm doing with my buddy Brett. And, our campaign is just about to end. We're getting really close to the end date in that game. As a matter of fact, I just sent Brett the save file just a few days ago. I should probably have the save file back, I would assume, within a few days' time. I mean, like, we'll be able to finish up that campaign. I'll continue to do that. And then there's the Guild Wars 1 campaign series that I've been working on. I know I've been kind of slacking on that for quite a few reasons, but I will continue to do that as well. I'm hoping to actually maybe get a live stream in sometime relatively soon, and just pretty much just steamroll our way through the rest of the campaign missions, at least for Prophecies, the Prophecies End, because I'm not going to start doing Factions or Nightfall or even Eye of the North for a while. But as far as like new content out, unfortunately, I mean, it's like with the health concern and kind of the state of my channel and everything, it's like I'm just going to have to, basically take it easy for a little while. And I really wanted to speak a little bit about doing this in general, is that, to be very honest, I'm a bit jaded by this whole process. I keep asking myself why I'm doing YouTube, or why I'm doing Let's Play videos and live streaming and whatnot. And it's like, I never have an answer for myself. It's like I always imagine somebody else asking me this question, in my mind. And then I just don't really have an answer. I walked into this with kind of a cavalier attitude. I walked into this with pretty much from curiosity. Like, I was really curious. I didn't have many expectations walking into it. So I was just genuinely curious about, what could go on. It's like if I was to come straight off into obscurity somewhere out there in the aether. And I materialized and started making YouTube videos for 1 year. It's like, you know, I figured I was really curious to find out what that would look like in a year's time as far as like subscribers and views and interactions and everything else. And you know what? It's been very, very taciturn. It's been very quiet and it's very slow going. And I know that that's not an uncommon thing. I mean, that was to be expected. I guess you could say I did have some expectations. I did have expectations that were cynical and negative. You know, I was expecting it to go far more worse than what it is. But, you know, it's still a little disheartening for me because, you know, it's like when I produced my entire XCOM 2 campaign series, it's like they get no views. You know, when I do live stream, there's a lot of times when I live stream, it's like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 people will show up. And, you know, thank you very much to those people that actually do tune in. But it's like, you know, there was one person that commented on one of my Guild Wars 1 live streams, you know, when actually it wasn't a live stream, it was just one of the Let's Play series because I was making that campaign series into kind of a hybrid where I did, you know, both live and non-live content for it. And somebody commented on one of the videos saying that it probably should just be live streamed because, you know, I could fill in kind of the dead areas where I'm not really giving commentary with actual user interactions. But, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. I'd love to do that, but I don't really have any interactions because there's really not too many people tuning into it. And I have had, you know, some pretty good positive feedback for my campaigns, you know, for the various games that I've been playing, and that's fine, that's great. But you know, it's like when it comes down to some of the other aspects to it, it's like I'm not personally, you know, getting any user or any viewer interaction, and you know, for me personally, it's like this process is kind of hollow. Honestly, it can be kind of vapid at times because it's like, you know, I don't get this satisfaction. I'm not getting like this warm and fuzzy feeling inside every time I produce content. You know, I kind of view it as kind of a hobby to some extent, but at the same time, it's like it's so time consuming, and I put in a lot of work into this. And regardless if it, you know, makes me feel good inside or not, it's like, you know, I've continually put out videos, and you know, I can't really continue to do Let's Plays and live streams and whatnot with that kind of attitude in mind. You know, I can't just go into it and say, well, I'm just doing it for shits and giggles, but then I'm putting, you know, a massive amount of time and effort into it. So it's like, in my mind, you know, I would really love to see my channel prosper and, you know, grow into something that I can actually enjoy. But, you know, and it's like, I don't really want to be completely cavalier about it, you know, when I'm dumping so much effort into it. And it's like, you know, I feel like doing YouTube, for me personally, it's one of those things where it's either, you know, I've got to dedicate myself to absolutely doing it or not do it at all. Because, you know, I've mentioned this several times in the past about how I've had this project sitting behind me, is, you know, digitizing my entire music collection. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of times where I might be in the middle of, say, ripping a CD, and it's like, well, in the back of my mind, I'm kind of feel guilt because it's like, hey, you know, I should be using this time to record a video or live stream or something. And I find myself doing that in other areas, you know, like I like to play video games. Of course I do, right? But it's like, you know, when I'm sitting and just playing a game for my own enjoyment or, you know, just for myself, there is still that like guilt in the back of my mind that I'm not like using that time productively to actually record stuff. And you know, and I'm really hate playing that mind game with myself. It's the mentality. So, you know, instead of it just being kind of a flippant thing that I do just kind of as a hobby, I'd actually like to, you know, take it up to the next step. And, you know, it's like I have to be really realistic about it when it comes to this. But then again, you know, this wouldn't be the case if I was just pumping out videos and there was no such thing as monetization. You didn't have to worry about subscribers or views or all the other red tape and hoops you got to jump through and all the rest of the bullshit. But, you know, since that is the case, I mean, that's kind of the nature of the game. It's like, you know, I would like to kind of ramp it up and actually take it to the next level. But, you know, unfortunately, subscribers and views and all the rest of that stuff come into play. And it's like, you know, I work hard. You know, at least I think I do when it comes to this. It's not like I'm trying to self-aggrandize. I don't have, you know, big flashy intros and outros and, you know, all these partnerships and all this, you know, CGI and everything else. And, you know, it would be a definite goal of mine to see my channel actually grow into something where I can actually get, you know, compensated for it. I didn't go into this looking for the money, but, you know, it's like, I know I work hard at it, and I feel like, you know, I would like to take it to that level, you know, even though to some degree I feel like it's already there, you know, especially the amount of time that it does take this. It's like, you know, you play the game, you record the game, you have to give commentary for the game, and then you have to edit it, and then you have to export it, and then you have to upload it. I mean, that's a lot of time. I know that just saying that sounds easy, but it's relatively uncomplicated. It's just very, very time consuming. And unfortunately, it's like, you know, when you're doing that, you can't be doing other things. And I only have the one computer, so it's like, you know, if I need to get on my computer to do something else, or if I wanted to do something else, I really couldn't do it. And, you know, I've mentioned this before too in the past, that I'm running on pretty much 9-year-old hardware, at least, you know, with the exception of a part or two. It's like, I need to upgrade soon. And, you know, I would absolutely love to upgrade and have it be justified, because I'm going to, you know, plan on continuing to do YouTube, or at least continue to do live streams and, you know, let's play videos and whatnot. But, you know, it's like a part of me also kind of thinks it's like be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. Before I actually started doing my channel, I had a good acquaintance of mine, you know, that does this. I was actually going around to people I knew and asking if any of them had any experience doing this sort of thing, you know, making content on YouTube or whatnot, or even if they live streamed on, say, like Twitch. And a couple of people chimed in, and one person basically told me he did it for 4 years, and it's consuming. He told me to actually not do it because it was so consuming, because it's like, you know, he would go on there and make these videos, and he'd be up until 2 or 3 in the morning while his wife and kids slept. And then, you know, it's like he found himself not being able to do the things in life that matter, because he was so focused on editing, you know, producing and editing videos. And he gave me quite a few caveats, and I understood what he meant. I didn't come into this with like rose tinted glasses on or something. I don't think I was being naive about it. I was expecting this. But, you know, while I say I would love to have my channel grow and prosper, it's like the more I do this, the more content that I produce, it's like I feel that you become more beholden to the experience of it. Like the more subscribers I get, the more like this, like almost like the tendrils are grasping you, telling you to put together some more videos, because, you know, you have to do it because you have like this ravenous subscriber base that has to have the videos. And I do say ravenous because there are people out there. I've noticed that there are some realities to doing YouTube that I just thought I can't cope with, man. Like I just don't understand some people. You know, I say ravenous because, you know, there's some people out there that's like, you don't produce videos for a day or 2 days, maybe over a holiday weekend or something like that. And they're like, oh, fuck that guy, and unsubscribe. You know, I've had it happen. Or, you know, it's like I produce content for a certain game or a certain mod or something. And, you know, the moment that campaign's done, it's like I always see a couple of people just jump ship right away. Or like, well, fuck him, he's not doing this campaign anymore. So it's like, you know, there's always this constant push to put out more and more content. And it's like, I feel like if you have like this huge subscriber base, you know, it's just going to become worse. And I'm really fearful of that, actually, because, you know, doing YouTube or just doing videos in general is like I said, time consuming. And it's like, I don't really get a chance to do much else while I'm doing some of these things. And so I just want to be very conscientious of walking into that, you know, of actually seeing my channel prosper. I guess that's kind of the one downside of it. But, you know, I do also want to be kind of just upfront with you guys. And it's just like a part of me is just really jaded from playing video games, not for any other thing, just the actual act of playing a video game. It's like I've got quite a bit of autonomy and free time, and I, you know, generally fill a lot of that time with playing games. And, you know, it's like when you do one activity over and over and over and over again, it becomes monotonous and you lose interest. You know, you could think about it like this. It's like if you were to take your favorite composed dish, whatever you like to eat, like let's say your comfort food, you know, for a lot of people, there's comfort food that reminds them of home, of their mother or grandmother or something else, you know, something that, you know, this dish that they like to eat, you know, during that like cold, shitty day or something, or when they're having a bad week at work or something like that, the comfort food that always brings you home. And can you imagine eating that comfort food for dinner like every day for like say 6 months straight, I mean, you're not going to like that dish after a while. It's just going to become shit to you. And unfortunately, just doing videos all the time, or excuse me, just playing video games all the time, it just kind of got me burnt out a little bit. And there's more to the story than that about like why I'm kind of jaded. It's more also the state of just the video game industry, just the whole sphere related to video games is just, like I remember the golden age of video games where, you popped in a cartridge or a disc or something and then you just played the game and it was fun. And, like these days, it's like a lot of these AAA companies out there, AAA publishers and whatnot, it's like they're not even producing games anymore. They're just products. They're products. They want you to just buy their thing so you can consume it, and that's it. The end. And then they milk you to death with fucking microtransactions and season passes and fucking loot boxes and all the rest of this bullshit. And just all of that weighs on me. And then, I'm also looking at like a lot of the developers out there, and it's like, you have all these other fucking problems. These people or these companies out there are producing games, and it's like, the game's broken. Their servers are broken on day one. They have to do these day one patches, and then you find out that before the game's even released, that they have like DLC already lined up for it that was clearly carved off the main game just so they can sell you some little bits and pieces from their scrap table. A lot of that bullshit. Or it's like you go into like the video game outlets like Destructoid or PC Gamer or something like that, and you read some of the articles about some of the dumb shit that just happens surrounding video games, and then you scroll down to the comment section, or maybe you go on Reddit or something else, and you see like just such a fucking toxic community. Like, I can't believe there's so many people that play video games, and it's hard to be make some hasty generalization to everybody that plays a video game, but it's like the interactions that I've seen and just witnessed is appalling, and it weighs on me. And it's like, even just playing some games online, like, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a good one, like, or a good example. It's like the community there is toxic as fuck. Not only are they toxic, but it's like the game's riddled with cheaters and it's impossible to play. It's a totally negative experience for me. So I just completely stay away from the game. And it's like, all of that shit, the fact that like I'm just kind of burnt out on just gaming all the time, and just the state of video games in general, it just got me feeling really gross. It weighs down on my motivation and everything else. And it's like, I'm trying not to let that actually impact the state of my channel, but I can't help it. And the reason why I bring it up is because as a content creator, I am irrevocably part of the video game industry. I'm a part of it, absolutely, because I'm producing these let's play series and live streams and things, and people are watching them, and it's like free advertising for the publishers and developers. Of course it is. I've definitely done it myself, where there's a game I'm thinking about buying, so then I hop on YouTube and I watch some actual gameplay footage via Let's Play series, and that gives me a more informed decision about whether or not I want to purchase a game. So it works out for the companies. You damn well better believe that your favorite streamers or your YouTubers out there, they're definitely part of the video game industry to whatever extent you might want. We might be small cogs, but we're definitely a cog in the machine. And I can't help but not separate myself from that, and it's like you've all of this negative shit that's surrounding just video games in general with, what's going on. And just for me personally, it's just, it feels like a big leaden weight. And I don't want to have this video come across as being like a doom and gloom, and this is the reasons why I'm talking myself out of, continuing on doing YouTube or just continuing on producing content in general, because it's not. It's just, I really wanted to have a little bit of transparency for anybody out there that's actually watching my channel's content and really enjoying it and, want to see more of it. I feel like going forward, it's like, you get kind of eyes into the content creator themselves, and, it's like, I do have to say that, that this problem that I'm having with my right ear is coming kind of at the right time. It's a little serendipitous, because it's like, I'm just getting a little worn, we'll say, with this. And it's like, originally I was thinking about producing a video like that was almost like a pseudo ultimatum, saying that, you know, if I didn't get 100 subscribers before the 1 year mark, or at least at the 1 year mark, or at least around 100, that I might just stop, because I feel like that would have been a realistic goal. But then, you know, I don't know what the hell a video like that would have accomplished, because it's like, you know, you out there that are watching this might feel like, well, shit, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm already subscribed to your channel, you know? And it's like, I didn't really want to do that. The reason why I say the 100 subscribers, because YouTube's got like a bunch of their little hoops and things you got to jump through before you get things, like all the other platforms do. And at the 100 subscriber mark, you get your custom URL. So if you go to my channel right now on YouTube, it'll be youtube.com/huge alphanumeric string. And, you know, I can change that to like, you know, youtube.com/magicide or mages die first, or whatever the hell I want it. And I can't do that without the 100 subscribers. And, you know, I figured that was such a basic thing, and that was a realistic goal to attain, hopefully by the 1 year mark. But instead of producing that video, it's like, I just figured, you know what, fuck it. I'll just continue to make content and just, you know, keep my head in my work, basically, and not have all these external factors, you know, killing it for me. But, you know, with the advent of this ear pain, you know, it's like, it's given me a little bit of wiggle room here, at least some breathing space, and I think it's kind of come at the perfect time. You know, one other thing I really wanted to touch base on is that, you know, it'd be really nice if you guys, my subscribers, you know, my viewers out there, would actually maybe give me a little interaction. You know, it's like when I ended my Diablo 2 campaign series, it ended prematurely, unfortunately, but, you know, I was sitting there, I made a special, like, the end video where I talked about what I would like to do next and my desires for playing another Diablo-like action RPG loot fest type of game. And you know, I kind of went through the list, especially the games that I already have. And I was going to produce a poll, but unfortunately I don't have the option, because you have to have 10,000 subscribers for that. And so I just said, hey man, leave me a comment, send me an email or something, contact me somehow and let me know what you would like me to cover. And not a fucking single person chimed in. And you know, like, that's so deflating when you experience that. It's like you think that the people that are subscribed to your channel have like a vested interest, or are actually interested. And, you know, when I try to interact with my subscriber base and nobody actually says or does anything, you know, like, what the hell am I supposed to think? And it's, you know, it's definitely demotivating for me. I would have actually had another series probably up and running right now, but, you know, at the same time, I figured I was going to give it like a couple weeks after that had ended, you know, to hopefully get a, you know, basically collate some responses from some of you guys, but there was nothing. And you know what, like, when I thought about doing another Diablo-like action RPG campaign series with some other game, I just said, you know, I don't really want to do it right now because of that. And, you know, then the ear pain started, and that's kind of where we're at. But anyways, guys, I'm going to hopefully heal up here, and we'll produce the rest of the EU4 and the Guild Wars stuff, and then kind of wait for the doctor's prognosis, figure out what the hell is going on, and then I guess we'll see you for the new campaign series, whatever it might be. I don't really want to spoil it. I have a couple of really good ideas in mind, but it'd be really nice to actually see some of you guys, you know, during the live streams, or I don't know, some sort of interaction. It'd be great. It's really, I'm not really looking for the attention. It's nothing like that. I'm not trying to be histrionic or something. It's just, you know, a big part of doing this is interaction between the content creator and the viewer, you know, especially during live streams. And, you know, I've only experienced that to a very minimal level, and I'm hoping that that kind of corrects itself over time. But, you know, I thought it was kind of behooving of me to actually vocalize it, so you guys were kind of aware of it at the same time. Nevertheless, I do plan on continuing on, so just stay tuned for our new series, whatever it happens to be. I'm sure I'm going to have a couple of them kind of up in the mix sometime, hopefully soon. But otherwise, peace. I'll see you guys later.